Part 1 of the 2024 Legends Festival is currently underway, and even though we did get some brand new units, it doesn't really seem as if people are that excited for this year's Part 1 to the Legends Festival. So because of that, I asked you guys this question on Twitter. So I asked, Dragon Ball Legends community, talk to me. Now that Part 1 of the 2024 Legends Festival has happened, what are your thoughts about it? Was the celebration perfectly fine the way it is now, or could it have been better? Let me know, might use this for a video. So today we're going to be going through a lot of the responses because I truly do believe it's important to know what you guys are currently thinking about the event. Of course, first up is my boy Goresh. Y'all already know who he is. I don't even gotta explain, man. But Gore said, they simply copy and pasted the source code from last Legends Fest Part 1. Couldn't have taken more than 7.5 minutes to prepare. With the new units not having any flashy mechanics, I doubt that they took a ton of development time either, so I'm going to be extra critical of parts 2 and 3. To say that I agree is a complete understatement. See, with last year's Legends Festival, last year's Legends Festival Part 1 specifically, I believe it was Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku paired with Beast Gohan, right, as our two, premium units. And the thing is, it was still relatively safe last year with the format that they went with, but at the very least, right, because at that time Beast Gohan was only 1 year old because the movie was out for a year at that point, and it's been a year at that point since we had Beast Gohan in the game, right, because we started off with the Blue Elf unit, then we got the transforming Red unit, right, and with Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, that tag unit was never in the game, so that was their first introduction. So again, they had a bit of leeway because it's okay, Beast Gohan still hype. I mean, he still is hype, respectively so. And of course, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku as a tag unit hasn't happened in the game yet, sure, right? But it was still safe, right? It was still a really safe pick. So now we got a new Vegito Blue, which it is our first transforming Vegito Blue, so that's in concept is cool, right? But Vegito Blue's been represented in the game since the 2nd anniversary, and he's darn near in every, actually I think he has been in every major event, and if not Vegito Blue, then just Vegito in general, right? Because obviously 1st anniversary was the introduction to Super Vegito in the game. 2nd anniversary, introduction to Vegito Blue in the game. 3rd anniversary, I believe, no, 3rd anniversary, we got a 1% sparking for Vegito Blue, the purple unit. And then 4th anniversary is when we got Ultra Super Vegito. And then 5th, and it's just, they love Vegito. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Although, if I recall correctly, no, 5th anniversary was Ultra Vegito Blue. They love Vegito, right? I understand that fusions, they sell, it makes sense. But with this unit that we got, in comparison to what we could have gotten, which was a fusing Vegito Blue, that would have been a bit better. And not only that, pairing that up with Rose, and again, Rose, cool character. People love Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. But we've already had a transforming Rose in the game many years ago. Many years ago. And not only that, based off of what people have been saying about this new LF unit for Rose, he's not that good. He's not that good at all. His defenses are apparently not that good. His offenses are apparently not that good, right? It's just, they could have had a stronger start, for sure. A much stronger start. And not only that, I mean, we had powerful opponent leading up to Part 1 of the Legends Festival, but then the Zenkai unit we got boosts hybrids, everything, it doesn't feel cohesive. That's the best way of putting it. It doesn't feel cohesive. It feels as if somehow they took last year's Part 1 for this year and made it worse. I don't know how they managed to do that. That's just how I feel. They somehow made it worse because there's no cohesion anywhere. Nothing flowed into anything. Again, we were getting hints with powerful opponent before Legends Festival into it just being future, right? And then we got a Zenkai that doesn't even boost anything of the sort for the tags that are being promoted right now. So it's all over the place. So when Gorsh was talking about he's gonna be critical of parts 2 and 3, I don't think only he should be critical about those next two parts. all of us should be. And see my other homie, Ryuden, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's whenever I do these posts, those two always end up like at the top of the list. Like, it's like I scroll down and theirs are just like right there. But anyway, Ryuden just said one word: poo. Yeah. All jokes aside, he actually did have a legitimate post. So Ryuden said, in all seriousness, this part 1 feels uninspired and lazy. Unit choices are safe picks with no new interesting mechanics. Rose is underperforming and isn't being the appropriate destructive tank to VB, so we have a hyper long combo meta that is not fun. Events aren't anything beyond previous monthly celebrations. The LF Zenkai underperformed and isn't even buffing any units from the tag theme, and all this has come together to making this part 1 feel like any other month. I am hoping the effort will be reflected on part 2 and 3. Okay, so yeah, pretty much what I said earlier is what Ryuden is saying right now, right? Because again, like the units, it's way too safe. It's way too safe. Like, we have come to a point in Dragon Ball Legends, minus one exception, one very, very special exception, where we've experienced darn near everything. The game has been going on for 6.5 years. 6.5 years. Like, there's just in the canon of Dragon Ball, right? Whether it's Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, right? We more than likely have all of the hype characters in the game now. Like, darn near all of them, right? And obviously, excluding manga because we already know the rules about all of that. And the only special exception right now is Dragon Ball Daima because that's brand new. So as content continues, we'll start getting more content, which even at that, we have Goku Mini, 2 Goku Mini units actually, and Glorio in the game. So again, Dragon Ball Daima, very special exception because we don't even know like how long that's gonna be going for. We don't know what to expect, all that stuff, right? But for the other anime that have already existed, that are complete, we have darn near everything. Like, let's see, Dragon Ball, we have obviously Kid Goku, we have Demon King Piccolo, Dragon Ball Z, we have all the Super Saiyan forms of all the characters, we have all the villains, like every single one of major importance, I should say. I can't really think of anything that we don't really have from Dragon Ball Z. I mean, if I'm missing something, definitely let me know. What else? Dragon Ball Super. We have all of the new Super Saiyan forms. We have Beast Gohan. We have Orange Piccolo. We even have the failed fusion of Gotenks from Super Hero. We have Broly, Beerus, Whis, Champa, Vados. There's like, we got Jiren. Like, we even got Casserole, right? Who's not even in any console Dragon Ball game. None. Well, actually, no, I think he might have been in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. I could be wrong about that. But for the most part, he's not really representing the games like that. We got him. We got Kyawe. Like, we got so many characters from Dragon Ball Super. And then, of course, GT, we got the Super Saiyan Force. Shadow Dragons, we got the important ones. Like, I would think the next one would be Oceania. Heck, we got Rage Shenron. We got Rage Shenron in Dragon Ball Legends. So, again, all of the hype characters we have already. We have them already. So we're at a point with Legends where they need to start being innovative. They can't just keep like regurgitating the same type of thing that we've already had, right? Vegito Blue, yeah, they gave him like a different LF, right? Which is kind of cool, sure. But new mechanics, man. We just got a brand new mechanic like half a year ago. We just got it with the fusing mechanic. You could have given us a fusing Vegito Blue. That would have been cool. Like, give him some crazy abilities or whatever the case may be. Goku Black, personally speaking, again, Goku Black, cool character, love him. The other banner unit shouldn't have been Goku Black. It should have been Fuse Zamasu. It 100% should have been Fuse Zamasu. He would have fit the theme. He also would have been powerful opponent, and you could have given him the fusing mechanic. That would have been fire. So we would have started off with a tag, because what Goku Black is a yellow unit. We would have started off with a tag, Super Saiyan Rose, Goku Black, and Zamasu that fuse into Fuse Zamasu would have been fire, in my opinion, right? But again, the units feel too freaking safe. It's just way too safe. Like, again, there aren't any events going on right now Like, it doesn't even feel like we're in the Legends Festival. It just feels like it's another monthly banner, and that's it. And it shouldn't be like that. Like, especially in comparison to the anniversary, Legends Festival is the next biggest event. It doesn't really feel like it is one. Zed said, Rose being very underwhelming hindered my enjoyment a lot. The pacing of the celebration leaves to be desired too. New PvP mode is fun, but having nothing other than a raid up for a week and a half is disgraceful. Nothing screams celebration. This feels like an episode campaign. I couldn't agree more. Now, again, I will give credit to where credit is due. Just like what Zed said, the new PvP mode, Tri Arena, is really, really cool. I like that, and I hope that they steer that ship properly, because I don't want it to be a scenario where it's like, oh, this mode is cool for now, up until it ends up being kind of either redundant or boring or whatever the case may be, because I kind of view that in a similar vein as to what happened with co-op, right? Because remember, when co-op came out, I was all for it, but then it started feeling tedious, right? So I'm hoping that they just execute Tri Arena properly, because I do like it. It's pretty much forcing you to use different teams. There are incentives of using those different teams. Part of those incentives is getting crystals. You can't complain with free crystals. So Tri Arena, I love the concept. I actually love the PvP mode. So it's something that I'm going to be playing from here on out. Hopefully, as long as they manage it properly. But again, just Rose should have. That unit could definitely be better, man. He absolutely could be better. It's just, I don't know, man. They were just way too safe. They're just way too safe. Like, there's nothing super enticing about this current, like, celebration, right? Like, even getting back on Vegito Blue, like, Vegito Blue does come with a good mechanic, right? Pretty much being able to get around destructive unique gauges that would activate auto counters, right? Which is cool. But even that doesn't feel like it's enough, because regardless of all that, Ultra Majin Vegeta is still running rampant, and pairing him with Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, it's an absolute nightmare. Not to mention, combos last forever. They last forever. Like, there have been too many matches that I've experienced where my opponent is reaching almost 99 hits. There was a match that I had in recent time where I, like, if the counter were able to go above 99, I probably would have been at like 120 hits. That's too much, man. Like, I don't know how to feel, bro. It's, like I said, there's no cohesion. It's the unit, like Rose is specifically, like, underwhelming. Vegito Blue comes with a cool mechanic, still doesn't really do anything for the meta. Like, Majin Vegeta is still up there at the top, in my opinion, right? Like, obviously that can differ from person to person, but Majin Vegeta is still at the top, right? To me. So with this celebration not really doing much for the meta, yeah, it kind of does feel like an episode campaign. Clintre said, 3 years later and this fest has felt like the biggest downgrade. Can't expect the 3 times, but literally no diff compared to the standard monthly LF banners. On top of that, Rose and the LF Zenkai were poorly designed. Part 2 and 3 need to be outrageously good to make up for this start. I couldn't agree more, because you guys probably won't be able to see it because I can't really scroll here, but he showed images of the first Legends Festival, right? Where we got, Tag, Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta, and of course, LF Sword of Hope Trunks. That festival was mind-blowingly good. It was absurdly good, right? Like, you guys can go back and check the reactions. Like, check the reactions to Legends Festival back then to the reactions of Legends Festival now, and there's a night and day difference, right? Because not only was this festival insane, it was the first Legends Festival to introduce the tag mechanic that still holds strong to this day. To this very day, that mechanic is still holding strong. So knowing that we went from something that literally innovated something for the game to this, where the units are safe and they didn't really innovate much, right? Like, we got a counter to the unique gauge. Cool. Like, where's the excitement, You know, like where's the craziness, the hype, right? That would normally be generated during these events, right? It doesn't feel like much is really going on. And again, a lot of people are defaulting to, again, Rose not being that good. Valid, right? Oh, and especially the Zenkai, again, because I talked about it a little bit, but I don't think I talked about it enough. He was underwhelming. He really, really was. Like, I know I made like, you know, the meme thumbnail and stuff about, you know, the drink and all that stuff, right? But truthfully speaking, he doesn't really bring much to the table that current units can't currently do or get around, right? It just feels like they really just gave him an extra ult and that's it, which is good, right? Being able to land your ult 3 times is obviously powerful, but he should have been much, much stronger than what they did with him. Because again, when he released, he wasn't really that strong. He was around for a bit because he was in the featured boost, but the moment he got off boost, he was done for. There was no way he was gonna survive. And even with this Zenkai, you can't really do much with him at all. And what's worse is, even with the Zenkai, like even if you were to try to use him as a bench unit, he doesn't even do anything for future with his Zenkai ability specifically. Z ability boosts future, but his Zenkai ability boosts green and hybrids. It just doesn't make any sense. Green, I mean, I'm not saying like boosting green and hybrids is bad, right? Because, you know, if he's gonna boost a team, obviously. But if it was green and hybrids, this Zenkai should have released near the beginning of the year. Because at the beginning of the year, like around that time frame anyway, we got Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who is a green hybrid unit. Like, his time in the spotlight is gone. So for them to give us a Zenkai unit that boosts green and hybrids at year's end is crazy. It's crazy. Like, I'm not saying, like, I mean, there's probably some people out there that are still using Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan because his kit is good. It inherently is good, but obviously he's being power crept. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not gonna do much now. It's not gonna do much now because he's not the top unit anymore. So again, just the Zenkai for that Trunks, it was the wrong, well, actually no, it wasn't even the wrong unit. It was the right unit with the wrong type of boost. Like, it was just a complete mess. I'm So Ironic said, this Legends Fest was underwhelming. The units were decent, I guess, with Frieza and Cell arguably being the best units. Maybe that's because I was shafted by whatever. Events were bare bones and there's not much to write home about. Okay, so I will give some credit to the units because we got a GT unit that I was not ever expecting to get into the game, and that was a tag Cell and Frieza, because there's actually a lot of people that didn't know that happened in GT. That absolutely happened in GT. Like, Cell and Frieza like came back and they were messing with Goku GT and all that stuff, right? Even with the ceiling move that they have, what was it called, like the light cage or something like that? That happened in GT. That's an actual thing. So the fact that we got a tag unit of those two is actually pretty cool. Like, I'll give them credit, right? And also, they're the second unit in the game to be able to seal off opponents. That's also cool. So Cell and Frieza, I think, is actually a highlight in my personal opinion. Whether or not people think they're good or not is, you know, up in the air, but I do believe that they hold some merit to this celebration. So again, Cell and Frieza, I think, are perfectly fine. It's actually a really cool tag unit. But apart from them, I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing to do in the game. Like, this is the Legends Festival. I'm talking about, I should be logging on every single day, right? There shouldn't be any reason for me to be missing any days for the Legends Festival, like not a single one. And usually when it comes down to Legends Festival time, I'm logging on every single day. I think this time around, I've actually missed a few days because it's like, okay, I would just log in just for like the login bonuses and all that stuff, but what's there to do, right? I mean, apart from Tri-Arena, because Tri-Arena's clean. The raid? I mean, we've had raids for celebrations for years now. It's nothing special. Like, it doesn't entice me to log into the game and keep playing, right? Because again, raids come and go all the time. Like, where are the Legends Festival events? Like, there should be like a blowout where it's just events on events on events, like constantly something new to do, right? Like, I don't know, like, I think this is starting to become a bit of an issue when it comes down to their PvE modes, because it's either there's absolutely nothing to do, they add things to do, but they get defeated or completed way too quickly, or they add something new that just isn't exciting, right? Or has like a lack of longevity, right? I think a prime example of that is Full Power Battle. Like, when it first came out, okay, cool, it was something different. There is no reason to do Full Power Battle now, in my opinion, right? Because the main thing was to be able to get your free-to-play units boosted, right? When they would first release, you could do Full Power Battle, you could get some Z power from all that stuff and boost the unit. But now, all you have to do is do the new unit event for the free-to-play unit, get the base of the character, and then run co-op. That's it. Like, Full Power Battle doesn't really serve. Actually, no. And if I recall correctly, Full Power Battle, when it first came out, actually gave better rewards than it does now. So what's the point? Like, they are all over the place when it comes down to these events, right? I don't know what they're gonna do, but they have to come up with something, because they can't keep the PvE side of the Legends Festival as barren as it is now. Dre1016 said, "This fest so far is way too underwhelming. The lack of CC makes it even more apparent of the lack of events or lack of resources in general. The new PvP mode is fun and all, but they should bring back that daily challenge back that was somewhat hard, or a new hard event in general." Okay, so again, with the festival being underwhelming, I think that's kind of like a majority of people thinking that. The lack of chrono crystals. See, this is the thing when it comes down to these type of games, right? I understand that, they're trying to make money. It's a business. I get it, right? But you also want to ensure that your free-to-play base is happy as well. What's one way to do that? Give them the ability to earn more crystals in the game, because it really does seem as if it's darn near impossible at this point, right? Like, I mean, everybody's probably already done story mode. We've done all the events that have returned over and over and over again, right? So unless you're like in the top ranks in PvP, or you're doing like, I mean, does anybody do the tournament of power at this point? Because I don't really do it anymore. But tournament of power, like things of that sort, you're not really getting crystals anymore. And I do strongly believe that one major reason as to why we have such a lack of crystals we can farm in game is because they stopped adding hard mode events into the game. Like actually a massive example, like one major example is the story mode. We are on like what? I think part, is it 16? Didn't story mode, hard mode end at like, I don't remember. It was a really, really early part, like part 4 or 5 or 6 or somewhere around there, right? We haven't had hard story mode in years, many years, and I don't know why. Because that was an extra source for us to be able to earn free crystals, and they stopped doing that years ago. Don't know why. So maybe one day they can finally just bring back hard story mode. That would be just an absolute well of crystals, like just waiting to be attained, because that's a lot of content. That's hours of content, right? But also with events, hard mode events, I'm sorry, like personally speaking, yeah, somebody who's been playing the game since before day one, and I say before day one because I played during the beta, events are too easy. They're way too easy. Like, I'm not saying like, make it like, you know what? Okay, this is a personal thing. You guys don't have to agree with this if you don't want to. I do believe that with events, if they want to have them be easily accessible for everybody, sure, that's fine. But add extra difficulties. Add hard mode difficulty. So maybe if we are able to get through those events, we can earn more crystals. Bring despair mode back. Like, I think there was only like 2, like being very generous, maybe 3 events that had despair. Like, it's bring those difficulties back. right? I truly want a challenge with these events. Granted, I don't want it to be like, you know, to the point where the AI is so cracked out that like, you know, nobody can ever do anything because it's like artificially difficult, where it's like, okay, for whatever reason, you're not dealing as much damage as you should while having a fully soul boosted, like max stars, perfect equipment, 5 times Zenkai boosted team, and you're only dealing like 10% damage per hit. I don't want it to be artificially difficult like that, but an actual challenge, right? Like something that would fit the difficulty, but would lead to a satisfying end result, right? We don't have events like that anymore. We don't have man, you know what? And y'all can cook me in the comment section. I miss, what was the name of those events? I don't remember if it was like challenge battle or whatever it was called. It was those events where it was like 5 battles or 5 types of battles where you would fight 5 different teams, and they were hard. And I remember one of the hardest events was against I think it was Frieza Force, or maybe it was just Frieza in general, like full power Frieza. It happened years ago, right? But they were difficult events. They were notorious for being difficult. But when I beat it though, man, it was so satisfying. And you guys can look up those videos because of course I covered it, right? Like those videos, some of them would last like up to an hour and a half long because I'm getting folded. But when I beat it, it was satisfying, right? Again, y'all can cook me about that if y'all want. I want there to be challenge again when it comes down to PvE events, right? And not only just challenge, but variety in general. So you got just the standard content, harder content, and then truly difficult content. But all of them are sources to be able to give us crystals. That's the most important thing. Giving us more opportunities to earn crystals in game will have the free-to-play base be happy. I know that the company wants to earn money, but you also need to keep your free-to-play base happy, because if there is no way for them to earn crystals in the game, they're not going to summon, because why would they? And again, with story mode, same thing. Add hard mode back so we can earn more crystals, so that way you keep the free-to-play base happy so they can continue earning crystals and they can continue summoning on these banners. Honestly, I think this particular comment drives the point home, and I really do hope that the Legends team heavily take comments like these into massive consideration. But Benja RK5 said, I started playing Legends last year, so I'm not very aware of how the Fest before 2023 were like. But compared to 2023 Fest, this one feels so uneventful. There is not much incentive to play, in my honest opinion. Let that sink in. He started playing Legends last year. And even in comparison to last year, he believes that this Legends Festival Part 1 is uneventful. It should never, ever be like that, right? And again, because I mentioned this earlier, but compared to like the first like Legends Festival, even before it was called Legends Festival, it was way more exciting than this. But if we're sticking strictly to when the Legends Festival name was, introduced, Tag Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta was mind-blowing. Everybody lost their minds. We got Sword of Hope Trunks, which was a unit everybody was waiting for at the time. And he didn't disappoint. Like, the units were good. They were meta-defining units, right? Which makes sense, it's a huge celebration and whatnot. But it's the fact that it was new, it was fresh, it was something that we were waiting for, right? And we don't have that now, Like, it feels like the innovation for this game is starting to dwindle, with the exception of the in-game fusing mechanic, which again, should have been apparent in Part 1, because, like, okay. Even thinking with Vegito specifically, right? If we're to stick strictly to what happened in Dragon Ball Super, Vegito didn't even fight in his base form. He literally came onto the scene and then transformed instantly to Super Saiyan, well, not really instantly, but he transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and then fought. So if they wanted it to be a fusing Vegito Blue, again, having it be Goku and Vegeta fighting at first makes sense And then when they fuse, he turns, well, I would assume base form, and then transforms into Vegito Blue. They could have given him crazy mechanics. They could have done all sorts of stuff. Like, they could have kept him the same element factor, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is our very first green Vegito unit. If I recall correctly, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure it's the first green Vegito unit. And it could have been better. It absolutely could have been better. And again, same thing applies for Rose. It should not have been Rose at all. It should have been Fuse Zamasu. It absolutely should have been. Could have kept on the same element factor, a yellow unit, but it should have been Fuse Zamasu. So the fact that it's like, we can sit here and speculate on how like they could have went about making this event significantly better than it is now based on what they did earlier in the year. Well, I think that speaks volumes. And for people that just like recently got into the game, this is probably going to be like maybe their first or second experience with the Legends Festival. And again, for comments like these to exist is not a good sign. All in all, I think we can collectively agree that part 1 of the 2024 Legends Festival is not really that good. The units aren't really that exciting, and there's literally nothing to do in the game. However, I will admit that Legends has had moments where they have released events and they've been underwhelming at the start, but finished strong at the end. Or they released events that were a complete flop, but the next year, when they ran that event again, they ensured to not repeat the same mistakes as the year prior to make the event even better. So I'm hoping that this time around, with part 1 of the Legends Festival of this year being not really that good, the other 2 parts are going to be significantly better. I think that we should all be very critical of how they're going to handle the next 2 parts, because we can't have this end up being the worst Legends Festival to ever exist. That would be really, really sad, and I don't want to see that happen. So again, I believe that we should be critical for parts 2 and 3 of the 2024 Legends Festival. But if I didn't manage to get to your comment, or there's maybe things that I just missed out in general about talking about concerning this event, let me know in the comment section below. I think that this is a very important conversation for us to have, because the Legends Festival is supposed to be exciting, and not many people are excited right now. But still, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.